I have these three words: cleanse, compassion, and courage. And then we're going to move into courage because it's out of a space of courage that we can make a difference in the world. There's a quote that I learned when I went to the Hoffman. It says, "Everyone is guilty, no one is to blame." I'm going to write that down. Everyone is guilty, no one is to blame. And so for the next exercise and the final exercise, I want you to write down these names. And I am not a trained therapist, so do as much as you're comfortable with. This is pretty deep work here. Yeah. So I want you to write down the name Amy Cooper, the name Christian Cooper. So Amy Cooper, a week ago, is a woman who was in Central Park, and she had her dog without a leash, and she's white, and a black gentleman named Christian Cooper asked her to put her dog on a leash, and she was upset, and then she threatened to call the police, saying that a black man was threatening her. So she was going to use race as a weapon to get this man in trouble, potentially in a life-threatening situation. So that's Amy Cooper and Christian Cooper. I want you to keep them together. And then I want you to write the names Ahmaud Arbery, Ahmad Abrey. So he was the black gentleman who was murdered by two police officers off duty. Gregory McMichael and Travis McMichael. Gregory McMichael-Travis McMichael, McMichael. And these two white gentlemen decided to take upon themselves to attack this black gentleman running around his neighborhood. And then I want you to write down George Floyd and Derek Chauvin, Chauvin. And then if you want to write down Thomas, Alex, and Tou, Tou. Thomas, Alex, and Tou were the three other officers there at the site who helped hold down George and did nothing to stop Derek. And then I want you to write down a last name, Light Watkins. This really hit home when my mentor, my teacher, my friend Light, on his Instagram shared stories of multiple times in his life as recent as 2 years ago where he was profiled and he was stopped in LA in a nice neighborhood simply because he was black. And, you know, I thought this was done. I thought profiling was over, personally. Light Watkins, LIGHTWATKINS, and please follow him on Instagram. His videos are very insightful and very helpful. And when I saw that, a light bulb really went on that, for those of us that are not black, we don't experience this and we don't even think it exists. But I've heard multiple of my African American friends share. And this reminded me of the Me Too movement. It was just a year ago when a lot of women in my life that I'd never thought this would happen to all shared, and it came out. And I realized how big of an issue this is and how prevalent it still is. I thought this was something that happened decades ago, that this is something that's over, but it's clearly not. So this is the courage section. And I want this to come from the angle of, when I see these situations, I think of people like Amy, Derek, Gregory, Travis. None of us are born a racist. None of us are born to hate. These are all learned behaviors. How did our education system fail you so badly that you got to this state? Because when I see these people, I see people without emotional skills. They've weaponized their emotions to attack. But what's underneath that is fear, right? They have fear. They've been taught fear, whether it's from their grandparents, whether it's from their friends. Somebody taught this to them. None of us are born this way. I want you to write a letter. Pick any of these people that we've now, put on trial, that we've now vilified. I want you to write a letter of compassion to them. And this is going to take a tremendous amount of courage. You don't have to write this letter if you're not ready yet, but at some point, this is the real healing, is when we can step into their shoes and find ability to look them in the eye and say, yes, you did a very wrong thing. You are absolutely guilty, but you're not to blame. We are all guilty. Some of us are just luckier than others that we were brought up in a family that taught us differently. I'm lucky somehow my parents got me to go to certain jobs that gave me money, and other people told me to go do the Hoffman and do this work. That's why I stand before you able to do this. But that's because I was given these opportunities, and not everyone has been given these opportunities. We have an entire society of people who've learned science, geography, and history and math from a factual, intellectual standpoint, but they have not extracted the real lessons we need to learn. We've learned history, but it's not the lesson we need to learn to erase the racism, the hate, the sexual discrimination, prejudices, all sorts of prejudices. It's not just skin color, it's, gender, it's age, it's all sorts of hatred stemming from fear. Yeah, and if you're not ready, there is no need to do it at this moment. So again, I'm not a trained therapist, but I do know that this work is the ultimate healing. And that's why this is called the Inner Warrior Training. We have a few minutes. And if you want to just take this time, just write as much as you can. And if you can't write that letter to those people, write the letter to someone else. Write the letter to whoever it is that you feel called to write the letter at this moment for the next 5 minutes. And then you'll write the letter to that other person some other time. But just the last 5 minutes, just let your pen flow. Whatever is coming up for you, just let it out. And thank you. Thank you for doing the work. Thank you so much. If we all just accept that the world has hatred, that's a fact. And if we all just accept that's the first step, is just acceptance. Instead of wishing that the world doesn't have hatred and prejudices and racism, that's where the resistance is. If we just say, yes, the world is messed up, the world has pain and the world has fear, if we just allow that to be, that's where our freedom lies. Right? I don't like the fact that that's the way it is, but that's just the way it is. And just accept it. And that just means we have work to do. There's healing to be done. And we get to do that healing with joy, from a place of love, from a place of lightness. We just have to, these practices, these tools are all here. connecting to our breath, the music that holds the energy that we need. Just releasing and just accepting the fact that there are people that need this medicine. And this medicine is not difficult. It just requires us going out and leading people to do it. You know, it just requires us to do it, and it requires us to lead other people to do it. It's so simple. You know, it's no different than if we need to physically get fit. We just go outside and do jumping jacks, and we get people to go run, right? If people are physically unwell, let's go for a walk. And if people are unwell emotionally, let's journal. Let's talk. Let's hear each other. Let's listen. Let's practice empathy. Let's practice compassion. I'm going to just leave the floor open to write whatever it is that you need. And just let your pen flow.